The massive council ship hung in Earth's orbit like a dark cloud, its sleek purple-black hull reflecting the sunlight. Inside the Earth Defense Force headquarters, Captain James Walker stared at the holographic display with growing concern. Something wasn't right about the Council's latest routine inspection. "Sir, we've detected unusual energy signatures from the restricted zones again," reported Lieutenant Adams, her fingers flying over the control panel. They matched the pattern from last month's environmental incident. Walker rubbed his tired eyes. For years, the Galactic Council had treated Earth like a primitive backwater, imposing harsh trade restrictions and limiting human expansion into space. They claimed it was for Earth's own protection, but Walker had always suspected there was more to it. "Show me the satellite footage," he ordered. The screen flickered to life, showing strange vessels moving under cover of darkness in the Amazon region. They weren't the usual council ships. These were smaller, more specialized craft. The turning point came 3 days later. A junior analyst named Mike discovered an encrypted transmission that changed everything. After weeks of careful decoding, the truth emerged. The Council had been systematically stealing Earth's unique biological resources. Rare plants, microorganisms, and even human genetic material were being harvested without consent. "This goes deeper than we thought," Walker said during an emergency meeting with Earth's military leadership. "The environmental disasters we've been seeing, the mysterious crop failures, the unexplained wildlife deaths, they're not natural. The Council's extraction methods are poisoning our planet." General Roberts, a weathered veteran of Earth's first contact wars, slammed his fist on the table. "They've been playing us for fools. Those protection protocols they forced on us were just to keep us blind and helpless." The evidence was damning. Security footage showed Council operatives using advanced cloaking technology to hide their harvest operations. Medical records revealed unexplained illnesses in areas near their collection sites. Most disturbing were the classified reports of missing people, hundreds of them, all dismissed by Council authorities as standard migration patterns. Walker's team worked tirelessly, gathering more proof. They found hidden facilities deep in remote areas, sophisticated labs disguised as natural formations. Each discovery added to the growing rage among Earth's leaders. The Council representatives are requesting their monthly meeting, Lieutenant Adams reported one morning. "They're asking about our increased satellite activity." Walker looked at the message, his jaw tight. "Let them come. It's time we showed them we're not as blind as they think." The meeting took place in the grand conference room of the EDF headquarters. The Council representatives arrived with their usual air of superiority. Tall, elegant aliens in flowing robes, their translucent skin showing hints of their complex circulatory systems. "We have concerns about unauthorized surveillance in restricted zones," the lead representative, Ambassador Vale, began. "This violates our protection protocols." Walker stood slowly, his face calm despite the anger burning inside him. "Interesting choice of words, Ambassador. Protection protocols." He pressed a button, and the room's screens came to life, showing damning evidence of the Council's true activities. "Perhaps you'd like to explain these," Walker asked, watching the alien's composed facade crack slightly. "Or should we discuss the real purpose of those restricted zones?" The ambassador's skin flushed a deep purple, a sign of distress in their species. "These images are clearly fabricated. We would never." "We found your hidden facilities," Walker interrupted. "We know about the harvesting, the experiments, the people who disappeared." His voice grew harder with each word. "We know everything." The meeting ended abruptly, with the Council representatives making quick excuses to leave. But the damage was done. Within hours, the evidence was being shared with Earth's governments and military leaders worldwide. That night, watching the Council ship depart from Earth's orbit, Walker knew they had crossed a point of no return. "Send the message to all commands," he ordered. "Operation Silent Thunder is a go." The Earth's long-planned revenge was about to begin, and the Galactic Council had no idea what was coming. They had pushed humanity too far, underestimating the very species they had been exploiting. Their arrogance would prove to be their greatest mistake. Little did the Council know, this was just the beginning of their downfall, and humanity's rise would shake the very foundations of galactic society. In a secret facility deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, Earth's military leaders gathered around a massive holographic display. The room hummed with energy as General Roberts activated the security protocols, revealing humanity's greatest secret. For 20 years, he announced, while the Council thought we were just accepting their scraps of technology, we were preparing. With a gesture, he brought up images of weapons and ships unlike anything the Council had ever seen. The gathered officers stared in amazement. Hidden shipyards in asteroid belts, underground weapons facilities, and advanced research centers appeared on the display. Each installation represented years of careful planning and secret development. Project Phoenix, Colonel Lisa Davis explained, stepping forward. We've combined their stolen tech with human innovation. She pulled up schematics of a sleek battleship. They think we're still playing with basic fusion drives. They don't know we've cracked their quantum field technology and improved it. The ship's design was distinctly human, aggressive and practical, unlike the Council's flowing organic aesthetic. But its capabilities would shock their alien oppressors. Stealth systems better than the Council's own. Weapons that could pierce their supposedly impenetrable shields. How did we keep this hidden? Asked one of the younger officers. Roberts smiled grimly. The Council's greatest weakness is their arrogance. They never bothered to look too closely at what they considered primitive technology. Their sensors sweep for advanced energy signatures, not the hybrid systems we developed. The next display showed ground forces in advanced combat suits. These aren't just copied Council tech. Davis continued. We studied their weaknesses. Their shields fail under certain frequencies. Their ships have blind spots. We've built everything to exploit these flaws. The room fell silent as images of testing facilities appeared. Videos showed Earth weapons tearing through Council-grade armor. Human ships executing maneuvers that should have been impossible with primitive technology. We have 30 fleet groups hidden throughout the solar system, Roberts revealed. Each ship is crewed by soldiers who've trained for years in secret. They know Council tactics, Council technology, and most importantly, Council weaknesses. A message flashed across the main screen. Operation Silent Thunder was spreading across Earth's hidden network. Global military forces were mobilizing under complete sensor blackout. The Council's monitoring systems would see nothing unusual. They think they know everything about us, Davis said, bringing up intelligence reports. They've studied our official military, our public technology. But they've never seen our real strength. The next hour was spent reviewing battle plans. Earth's strategy was unlike anything in the Council's military doctrine. No grand fleets, no formal declarations. They would strike from shadows the Council didn't know existed, using weapons their sensors couldn't detect. Remember, Roberts addressed the room, we're not just fighting for revenge. We're fighting for every species the Council has oppressed. Every world they've stripped of resources. Every civilization they've kept down while pretending to protect them. Across Earth, hidden bases were coming to life. Ships were powering up with systems that gave off no detectable signatures. Soldiers donned armor that could match any Council warrior. 20 years of preparation were about to pay off. First target, Davis announced, bringing up a map of Council space, their primary biotech research facility. The one where they've been processing everything they stole from Earth. The assembled officers studied the facility's defenses. To the Council, they were impenetrable. To humans who'd spent years analyzing every weakness, they were a paper shield waiting to be torn apart. Launch countdown begins in 6 hours, Roberts declared. By this time tomorrow, the Council will learn that humanity isn't the primitive species they thought we were. They'll learn what happens when you push humans too far. As the meeting ended, officers rushed to their posts. Throughout the solar system, hidden fleets prepared for battle. Earth was about to show the galaxy its true face, Not the compliant, primitive world the Council thought they knew, but a force that had been planning, preparing, and waiting for the perfect moment to strike. The Council's perfect order was about to meet humanity's chaos, and they wouldn't know what hit them until it was too late. Admiral Mary Thompson stood on the bridge of the HFY Vengeance, watching as her fleet slipped through space like ghosts. The new stealth systems worked perfectly. The Council's detection grid showed nothing but empty space where 50 Earth warships prowled. "All ships report ready," her tactical officer whispered, as if speaking too loudly might give away their position. "Approaching target in 5 minutes." The Council's biotech research facility loomed ahead, a massive structure of twisted metal and crystalline spires. Its defense fleet floated lazily in orbit, their crews complacent in their supposed superiority. "Begin Operation Thunderclap," Thompson ordered. "All ships, execute as planned." The first sign that something was wrong came when 3 Council patrol ships simply vanished. No explosion, no debris. They simply ceased to exist as Earth's quantum disruptors rewrote the space they occupied. Alarms began blaring across the facility. The Council ships scrambled to battle formations, but they were fighting an enemy they couldn't see. Earth ships phased in and out of normal space, striking from impossible angles. "Council command ship is requesting reinforcements," the communications officer reported. "They're still trying to figure out what's hitting them." Thompson allowed herself a small smile. "Launch Phase 2. Let's show them exactly who they're dealing with." The HFY Vengeance suddenly materialized directly in front of the Council's command ship, its hull bristling with weapons the aliens had never seen before. Before they could react, waves of focused quantum energy tore through their supposedly impenetrable shields. "Multiple Council ships breaking formation," Tactical reported. "They're falling into chaos." The Council's rigid battle doctrine was failing them. They had no protocols for an enemy that could appear anywhere, ignore their shields, and vanish before they could return fire. Their carefully organized fleet descended into disarray. "Send the message," Thompson ordered. Across all frequencies, in every Council language, the same words boomed. "From Earth with love." The next phase was even more devastating. Small strike craft, piloted by Earth's best, darted between the Council ships. Their weapons were based on the Council's own biotech, twisted and weaponized by human scientists. Organic hulls meant to be impervious began to dissolve. Living ships began to die. "Council flagship is attempting to surrender," communications reported. "No quarter," Thompson replied coldly. They gave none to the humans they experimented on. The battle lasted less than 30 minutes. When it was over, the pride of the Council's defense fleet was reduced to drifting debris. The research facility, with all its stolen data and samples, was a rapidly expanding cloud of superheated gas. "Casualty report?" Thompson asked. 3 ships slightly damaged. No casualties. Council forces completely destroyed. It was beyond even their most optimistic projections. The Council's mighty warships, their advanced technology, their sophisticated tactics, all had proved useless against humanity's vengeful ingenuity. "Begin broadcast of Phase 2, Thompson ordered. Across Council space, communication networks were suddenly flooded with proof of their leaders' crimes. Data stolen from the facility in its last moments showed decades of illegal experimentation, unauthorized harvesting, and casual disregard for sentient rights. "Multiple reports coming in," her intelligence officer announced. "Riots breaking out on Council worlds. Subject species are rising up. Their entire defense network is in chaos." Thompson nodded grimly. "Send word to Earth. Operation Silent Thunder is proceeding as planned. Begin preparations for Phase 3. As her fleet regrouped and prepared to strike their next target, Thompson thought about how the Council would react. Their entire worldview was being shattered. The primitive humans they had dismissed had just destroyed one of their most secure facilities. "Admiral," her second-in-command said quietly, "the Council's High Command has just declared a state of emergency." They're calling this an act of terrorism. No, Thompson replied, watching the debris of council ships drift past her viewport. This isn't terrorism. This is justice, and we're just getting started. The EFS Vengeance and its fleet vanished back into the quantum shadows, leaving behind destruction and chaos that would rock the foundations of the Council's power. The message was clear. Humanity had been pushed too far, and now the galaxy would feel their wrath. The Grand Council chamber erupted in chaos as reports of Earth's devastating attack flooded in. The High Councilors, representatives of the galaxy's most powerful species, argued furiously among themselves. "Impossible," roared High Councilor Rex, his scaled skin flashing with anger patterns. "These primitives cannot possess such technology. Our fleets are superior in every way." The emergency session had been called after the destruction of their premier research facility. Now projected above the chamber floor, tactical displays showed a massive council armada assembling. 5,000 ships, the largest fleet gathered in centuries. "We will crush these upstart humans," declared Supreme Commander Vax, his holographic image towering over the chamber. "They caught us by surprise once. It will not happen again." Deep in Earth's Defense Command, General Roberts watched the Council fleet gathering. Their ships blocked out entire starfields, a show of force meant to terrify Earth into submission. "They're coming exactly as predicted," he said to his staff. "Prepare Operation Hornet's Nest." The Council fleet arrived with typical dramatic flair, their ships emerging from hyperspace in a perfectly choreographed formation. Their commander's voice boomed across all frequencies. "Surrender now, humans. You face the might of the entire Council. You cannot hope to." The transmission cut off as the first wave of Earth's new weapons activated. Hundreds of tiny drones, invisible to Council sensors, attached themselves to the larger ships. Each carried a payload of weaponized biological agents, developed from the Council's own stolen research. "Living metal shouldn't get sick," Roberts mused as the first Council ships began to show signs of infection. "But we found a way." The Council fleet's organic technology, their greatest pride, became their worst weakness. Ships began to deteriorate from within. Their living metal hulls developed what humans called space rust, an engineered virus that ate through their supposedly invincible armor. "Impossible," Supreme Commander Vax screamed as his flagship systems began to fail. "Launch all fighters. Fire all weapons." But the Council's mighty arsenal proved useless against enemies they couldn't see. Earth's ships, using their hybrid quantum drive technology, phased in and out of normal space. Their attacks came from impossible angles, bypassing shields and armor as if they didn't exist. "Council formation is breaking," reported Lieutenant Adams. "Their ships are starting to retreat." Roberts nodded grimly. "Launch Phase 2. Show them our real fleet. From behind Earth's moon, from the dark side of Venus, from the asteroid belt, humanity's hidden armada emerge. Not the primitive ships the Council expected, but vessels that combine the best of human innovation with stolen and improved Council technology." "This is impossible." Vax raged as new sensor contacts appeared by the thousands. "They are savages. They cannot have built all this." The battle that followed would be remembered for centuries. Council ships, their formations perfect and tactics by the book, were torn apart by human forces that ignored the conventional rules of space combat. Earth ships ducked in and out of quantum space, striking from all directions at once. Biological weapons ate through living metal. Quantum disruptors erased entire squadrons from existence. In the Council chamber, the High Councilors watched in horror as their unstoppable fleet was systematically dismantled. Their perfectly planned assault had transformed into a catastrophic defeat. "We must negotiate," one councilor suggested desperately. "No," replied another, watching their ships die. "They don't want negotiations. They want revenge." The battle lasted 3 hours. When it ended, the greatest fleet in Council history had been reduced to scattered survivors fleeing in terror. Earth's ships, barely scratched, held position around their planet like a swarm of angry hornets. "Send the message," Roberts ordered as the last Council ships retreated. Across the galaxy, on every Council world and colony, the same transmission played. "Your technology didn't save you. Your numbers didn't save you. Your arrogance doomed you. This is just the beginning." In the Council chamber, silence fell as the implications became clear. They had not just lost a battle. They had lost their aura of invincibility. And the humans, those primitives they had dismissed and exploited, were coming for them. The galaxy was about to learn why you should never underestimate humanity's capacity for vengeance. The news of Earth's victory spread through the galaxy like wildfire. On the mining world of Nexus Prime, the enslaved workers watched smuggled footage of Council ships being torn apart by human forces. In the factories of the Centauri worlds, oppressed species whispered about Earth's impossible achievements. They did it. Breathe Worker Unit 247, a member of the insectoid hive race, watching Earth's ships dance through quantum space. They actually defeated the Council's greatest fleet. The uprising on Nexus Prime began 3 days later. The workers, inspired by humanity's example, turned their mining equipment into weapons. Council forces found themselves facing tactics they'd never encountered. Guerrilla warfare adapted for space stations and underground cities. In Earth's diplomatic center, Ambassador Robert Kane received an encrypted transmission from the rebel leaders. "We need help," they pleaded. "We've seen what your weapons can do. Will Earth stand with us?" Kane brought the message to the Earth Defense Council. "This is our chance," he argued. "Every species the Council oppressed could become our ally." General Roberts agreed. "Send them our new weapon schematics. Show them how to fight back." Earth's response changed the galaxy forever. Across Council space, subjugated species received packages of data, technical specifications for quantum drives, plans for stealth systems, methods to overcome Council defenses. Most importantly, they received proof that the mighty Council could be defeated. "The humans help us because they understand," declared the leader of the Hive Rebellion. "They too know what it means to be treated as lesser beings." On the industrial world of Forge, the synthetic beings called the Mechanics launched their own uprising. Their precision-engineered minds quickly adapted Earth's tactics to their own capabilities. Council forces found their communication networks hacked, their defense systems turned against them. Multiple revolutions reported in the Orient sector. Lieutenant Adams reported, "The Hive worlds are in open rebellion. The Mechanics have seized control of 3 major manufacturing hubs." The Council's response was predictably brutal and predictably ineffective. Their forces, trained to fight conventional battles against conventional enemies, found themselves facing opponents who fought like humans. Ships appeared from nowhere. Weapons struck from impossible angles. Defeat followed defeat. "They're using our own tactics against the Council," observed Admiral Thompson with satisfaction. "And the Council has no idea how to counter them." Earth's diplomatic corps worked overtime, coordinating with rebel forces across the galaxy. Human advisors taught other species how to fight asymmetrical warfare. Earth's factories worked at full capacity, producing weapons and ships for their new allies. "The Council called us primitive," Kane told a gathering of rebel leaders. "They thought our warlike nature was a weakness, but we learned from every war we fought. We learned how the small can defeat the mighty. Now we'll teach you." The Council's authority crumbled planet by planet. Their once mighty fleets were scattered, forced to respond to simultaneous uprisings across thousands of light years. Their rigid command structure, designed for central control, couldn't adapt to the chaos. Earth vessels detected in the Carina sector, reported a panicked Council commander. "No, wait, they're Hive ships using Earth tactics. They're everywhere." In the Council chamber, the High Councilors faced a galaxy spinning out of their control. Species they had dominated for centuries were rising up, armed with human weapons and human strategies. "These humans," one counselor observed bitterly, "they'd done more than defeat our fleets. They've taught the galaxy how to fight back." On Earth, military leaders watched their plan unfold. The Council had thought humanity was isolated, alone in their rebellion. Instead, they had sparked a revolution that would reshape the galaxy. "Send word to all our allies," ordered General Roberts. "Phase 5 begins now." The Council isn't just fighting Earth anymore. They're fighting every species they ever oppressed, and we've taught them all how to win. The galaxy was changing. The Council's perfect order was being replaced by something new. An alliance of species united by their desire for freedom, armed with humanity's weapons and tactics. The revolution Earth started would not be stopped. Commander Thomas Reed's stealth ship slipped through the defenses of the Council's central archive world, Memoriam. This mission wasn't about military might. It was about exposing the truth that would shatter the Council's remaining authority forever. "Team Alpha in position," whispered Lieutenant Taylor through the secure channel. "Security systems bypassed. You won't believe what we're finding in here." The Central Archives held the Council's darkest secrets. Not just their crimes against Earth, but thousands of years of manipulation, exploitation, and careful oppression of countless species. Every document, every record, every secret decision, all preserved by a civilization that never imagined their archives could be breached. "Download everything," Reed ordered. "Special focus on the genetic experimentation files and the suppression protocols." His team worked silently in the vast data vaults. Years of human ingenuity had created infiltration tools that slipped past the Council's most sophisticated security. The archives, designed to be impenetrable, were being gutted from within. "Sir," Taylor reported, "we found the extinction files. Records of species the Council deliberately wiped out because they developed too quickly." Reed's jaw tightened. "Copy it all. The galaxy needs to see this." In the Council chamber, an emergency session was underway. The High Councilors argued desperately about containing the spreading rebellions when every screen in the chamber suddenly activated. "Greetings, esteemed Councilors." Ambassador Kane's voice rang out. "Earth brings you a gift. The truth." The data streamed across every communication channel in Council space. Evidence of genocide. Proof of systematic oppression. Records of illegal experiments on sentient beings. The Council's own archives testified against them. "This is fabricated," High Councilor Rex roared. But even as he spoke, his private messages showed the data's authentication codes. These were the real archives, and everyone knew it. 3 Council member species have announced their withdrawal, Lieutenant Adams reported to Earth Command. They're demanding immediate investigations into the extinction of their ancestor species. The Council's carefully maintained image of benevolent leadership crumbled. Species that had been loyal for centuries now saw the truth. They had served monsters who documented their atrocities with cold precision. The Diplomatic Corps reports 15 more species requesting alliance with Earth, General Roberts announced. They're abandoning the Council en masse. Commander Reed's team wasn't finished. They had found something even more damning. The Council's future plans. Detailed protocols for suppressing Earth's development. Plans to harvest humans for genetic material. Schedules for the eventual containment of humanity. "Send it all," Reed ordered. "Every last file." The effect was catastrophic for the Council. Their own member species turned against them. The High Councilors found themselves facing demands for justice from the very civilizations they had ruled for so long. "This is why they feared us," Kane told Earth's leadership. "Not just our military strength, but our ability to expose their lies. They built their power on secrets, and we've dragged those secrets into the light." In the following days, the Council's authority collapsed completely. Member species withdrew by the dozens. Their military forces defected or stood down. Centuries of absolute power dissolved in the face of undeniable truth. "You've destroyed everything," Rex screamed during the last Council session. "Thousands of years of order and stability." "No," Kane's reply echoed through the chamber. "We've destroyed thousands of years of lies. The galaxy will build something better in its place." Commander Reed's team completed their mission, leaving the archives as silently as they had entered. But they left behind a new program in the Council's systems, one that would ensure no secret could ever be hidden again, no truth could be buried. Mission accomplished, Reed reported as his ship broke orbit. The diplomatic war is over. They'll never recover from this. The Council's mighty fleets and advanced weapons had failed to save them. In the end, it was the truth that destroyed their power. Humanity had done what no other species dared. They had exposed the lies that held the galaxy in chains. The age of the Council was over. The age of truth had begun. 1 year after Earth's revelations shook the galaxy, representatives from 100 species gathered in the newly constructed Alliance Chamber on Earth. The Grand Hall, built with technology from dozens of worlds, symbolized the new era of cooperation. Ambassador Kane stood at the central podium, looking out at the diverse gathering. Former council members sat alongside species they had once oppressed. Mechanical beings shared space with organic life forms, unity born from shared liberation. "We gather here not to create a new council," Kane began, "but to forge something different. An alliance of equals, where no species can dominate another." The first order of business was justice. The former High Counselors stood trial for their crimes, their own meticulous records serving as evidence against them. High Counselor Rex and his colleagues faced judgment from the very species they had wronged. "The Council's time is over," declared the Hive Queen, her multifaceted eyes gleaming. "But we must not repeat their mistakes. Revenge must give way to reconstruction." General Roberts, now serving as Earth's military representative, presented the Alliance Charter. "Our strength nearly destroyed us," he admitted. "Then it freed us. Now it must protect us, all of us." The Charter's principles were simple but revolutionary. Total technological sharing between member species, joint defense against external threats, and absolute transparency in all governance. The secrets and lies that had allowed the Council to maintain power would never be possible again. "The humans taught us more than how to fight," the Mechanics Prime Unit stated. "They taught us how to question, how to rebel, and now how to build peace." Across the galaxy, reconstruction was already underway. Former Council worlds were being transformed. The rigid hierarchies and oppressive structures were dismantled. In their place rose new institutions, built on principles of cooperation and mutual benefit. Report from the Orion sector. Lieutenant Adams announced during the session, "The last Council Loyalist stronghold has surrendered. The transformation is complete." The Alliance's first major project was already taking shape, a massive database combining the knowledge and technology of all member species. The Council's practice of hoarding advanced technology was replaced by open sharing and collaborative development. "We're advancing faster together than we ever did under the Council's restrictions," observed Commander Reed, watching ships of mixed species crews patrolling Alliance space. "Turns out freedom breeds innovation better than control." Admiral Thompson, leading the newly formed Alliance Defense Fleet, had transformed Earth's guerrilla tactics into a comprehensive defensive doctrine. "We stay strong," she told the gathered representatives, "not to dominate, but to ensure no one can ever dominate us again." The former Council races, stripped of their special privileges, found themselves learning to cooperate as equals. Many discovered that freedom from the burden of maintaining control brought its own rewards. "We were wrong about humans," admitted a former Council scientist. "We saw their aggressive nature as primitive. We didn't understand that the same drive that makes them fierce warriors also makes them passionate defenders of freedom." The Alliance grew stronger each day. New species, hearing of this different way of organizing galactic society, approached Earth asking to join. Each was welcomed, their unique strengths and perspectives adding to the whole. From the ashes of the Council's oppression, Kane declared in the closing ceremony, "We have built something unprecedented. Not an empire, not a hierarchy, but a true alliance of equals." The galaxy was forever changed. The Council's perfect order had been replaced by something messier but more vibrant, a coalition of free species, united by choice rather than force. Earth's vicious revenge had evolved into a revolution that benefited all. "Remember this day," Cain told the assembled representatives. "Remember how the Council's quest for absolute control led to their downfall. Remember that true strength comes not from domination, but from cooperation." As the ceremony ended, ships from 100 worlds lit up Earth's sky in celebration. The galaxy had learned its lesson. The future would be built not on secrets and suppression, but on freedom and unity. Humanity's greatest victory wasn't destroying the Council, it was showing the galaxy a better way forward. The age of oppression was over. The age of alliance had begun.